Hello guys, I have a Samsung NP300U1A and I'm going to teach you how to replace the LCD screen at the same time the motherboard and all other components. Let's go there. First thing is to remove the battery. Then we're going to remove all the screws at the bottom of the chassis. We can start by taking out the memory. You can just release the memory by pushing the flanges away from each other so that it can loosen up the grip. Just make sure to follow what I'm showing you. There are about 9 screws at the bottom section. And it includes the screws that are hidden underneath the rubber boots. You have to remove those 2 rubber boots because underneath it there are like 2 more screws. Also, don't forget to remove the SD card. So after you're done with the bottom section, flip it over and you may want to use a very thin rounded spatula to remove the top chassis from the bottom chassis. Actually, this time we're going to take out the bottom chassis. So yeah, I'm taking this plastic out of the bottom plastic out of the machine. Please note of the position of the machine. I am lifting the chassis, the bottom chassis, from the right to the left, because if you notice to your left there's a video connector. So if you lift from left to right, you're gonna break the video connector or video port. Actually, at this point you can have access to all the components within the motherboard. You can take out the hard drive and everything else except for the LCD. We're gonna open the LCD a little bit later. Right now I'm going to take out the heatsink so that I can have access to the CPU, because I'm going to replace the thermal compound as well as the thermal pads. This one here is the DC power jack with the wire harness. Earlier the customer complained that it's a little bit loose, so he said that he was suspecting that the DC power jack is broken. So we're going to take this out and we'll be taking out some more screws from the motherboard. I'm not gonna take out the whole motherboard, I'm just gonna loosen it so that we can have access to that DC power jack and harness. So I took that fan away. There are about like 3 anchor screws on the motherboard. Loosen the board so that I can get access to that DC power jack and harness. That's it. So actually it has a bracket that holds it on the chassis. Okay, so this time we're going to open the LCD screen. Oh, by the way, actually this model is using an LED screen. We first have to loosen the antenna wires. These are the wires that goes to your Wi-Fi card. Remove them and then unscrew the hinges. There are 2 screws on each hinge. After that, we also have to remove the video cable. Please note, I'm not pulling the cable by the wires, but rather I'm pushing the connector away from the socket. Otherwise you're gonna break it. Then that's the time you can remove the LCD assembly. I'm sorry, the screen assembly. Then using your bare hands, you can just lift the bezel. Actually, if it's a little bit stuck, you can use your spudger or whatever spatula you have there. Put that spudger in between the bezel and the back lid. It looks like easy for me, guys, but it could have been that the bezel is a bit stuck, so be careful not to yank it, otherwise you're gonna break that plastic there because it's brittle. I would advise that you have to watch this over and over before doing your disassembly, if this is your first time to do it. Okay. There are about 4 screws that you have to remove before you can take out the screen. There are 2 on the top and 2 more close to the hinges. If you notice, guys, there's no inverter. As I told you, this is an LED screen. LEDs don't have inverter boards. Okay, lay it flat on the table. In my case here, I'm just showing you the correct part number, which is Samsung LTN 1168001. And just a warning, guys, whenever you buy LED screens, you have to match it exactly with the brand and part number. Believe me, I have done like 2 to 3 times already where I buy replacement parts because they were cheap, but they end up like they didn't match at all. So that's just a tip. So that's about it.